Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of U.S. History Made Plain. I'm a high school history teacher trying to make history as fun and interesting for my students as possible. So the Missouri Compromise actually kept the tensions down from the North and the South for about 30 years. It wasn't until Bleeding Kansas that the tensions kind of rose up and boiled over. So with Missouri, the pro-slavery Missourians who came over to Kansas trying to make Kansas a slave territory were called border ruffians because once people learned that people from Missouri were coming over to Kansas and setting up shop and becoming residents to be able to vote for Kansas, then Northern abolitionists and free soilers found out about this. So they started the New England Immigrant Aid Company in 1855, which paid to transport people and farmers from New England into Kansas to, boost up the population of anti-slavery farmers there so that border ruffians could not change the vote. So think about it. You have people from Missouri moving over to Kansas who want slavery. You have those who are already in Kansas who don't want slavery, as well as the New England Immigrant Company who was bringing more people in who don't want slavery. It got to the point where these two groups, pro-slavery and anti-slavery groups, clashed, and it became violent. These clashes of hurting and killing people who were crossing the border into Kansas in order to try and make Kansas a pro-slave or anti-slave state, that was known as Bleeding Kansas. Now, with that happening in Kansas, people are looking to Washington, to Pierce, to be like, yo, fix this. Figure out what's going on. People down here dying over this. What do y'all got to say about it? Pierce was in Washington like, oh, that's not my business. I don't have anything. I'm just going to ignore that because that's not really my business. So nobody in Washington, nobody in the government did anything to help Kansas. Regardless, pro-slavery, anti-slavery, nothing. They just did not talk about the issue. They just did not address the issue. So the violence and nobody really addressing it or saying anything only divided the North and South even more. So everything was just starting to come to a head because it was just getting so bad and nobody could deal with the tensions between the North and the South.